and welcome to Fuel Talk. I'm joined today by Liam Quegan, who is a member of the Cox Automotive Board in the UK. Hello, Liam.
Hi there. Hi, James. Delighted to be with you.
Thanks very much. So with National Inclusion Week upon us next week, we thought it would be a great opportunity to catch up with you and talk about Women with Drive, for which you are the board sponsor within Cox Automotive. So I guess to start off with, for anyone viewing or listening, could you give us a bit of a background to Women with Drive?
Sure. Women with Drive has been one of our flagship diversity programs within Cox Automotive globally. And I'm very fortunate since March of this year to be the sponsor for it for the UK, taking it over from Alison Fisher, our Chief People Officer, who did a fantastic job at establishing it. Women with Drive is a great initiative whereby we try and bring as much focus on gender equality within our industry. It's an area that needs focus because traditionally, and this has been a fairly male-orientated industry, but what we've done is we've taken great strides in promoting different things that matter in the gender equality agenda. And that ranges from everything from seminars where we talk about confidence through to hearing from really great industry speakers, senior women within our industry, to a whole host of other things. So it's just a fantastic initiative to help bring and make sure that gender equality is in people's minds as we move forward, because it's so critical. It always has been, but it's incredibly obviously critical right now.
Yeah, it's a great point. And I know when I'm out and about at industry events, that lack of diversity, as you say, is sometimes quite shocking to see if you look around a conference attendance and audience. So no, it's a great initiative. I think from memory, it was established, as you say, in the UK around 4 years ago now. So it's grown enormously in that time. And I know specifically a couple of years ago, we launched the Barbara Cox award, which was around recognising professional women in the industry. So from that perspective, is that something that we're going to see again, I guess, this year and into next year?
Yeah, so the Barbara Cox Award was established, and Barbara Cox was a phenomenal woman, part of the family who own our Cox Automotive business. And what we've been doing over the last couple of years is recognising a set of women across our industry who do great things. Last year, we were incredibly lucky to be able to announce Alison Jones from PSA as our winner. And we will continue the theme of the Barbara Cox Award into 2021. So when we get past the new year, we'll be looking for nominations from across the industry for senior women, or any woman indeed, who does great things within our industry. So yeah, it's a great recognition for people who make things happen in the industry.
Yeah, that's great. It's certainly, I know it's certainly achieved a lot of commentary in terms of both internally with our customer base, suppliers, and the industry. Because I suppose it's important to point out, I know you and I have attended Women with Drive events. It's not just for Cox Automotive team members, is it?
No, that's really important. And in fact, we have, which we'll talk about in a minute, we have an event coming up next week, and as part of National Inclusion Week. And really, really happy to see that about a third of the people attending that are actually from outside our own business, ranging from OEMs and manufacturers through to retailers and a whole host of different businesses. So I think it's really fantastic that this is not a Cox Automotive initiative, albeit we lead on it. It's very inclusive with regards to people from around the industry to come and speak, to attend, and to learn from it. So that's our ambition, is to make this industry-wide. Yes, obviously it's predominantly been a Cox Automotive initiative in the past, but we're broadening our wings, as it were, and I think it's really exciting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we talked about that event next week, which is on the 1st of October. What will the format of that be like?
Yeah, so we've got a panel of 3 fantastic women from across industry who are going to come and talk to us about inclusion and what that means to them, and also what, if anything, the impact of COVID has also had in their minds around what we've learned from that in a context of inclusion and what we need to think about going forward. We've got 3 fantastic ladies joining us. We've got Leanne Christmas, who's from BMW, she was a nominee for the Barbara Cox Award last year, and she brings a kind of financial services element to her experience. We've got Jessica Gutner from Salesforce, and I'm really excited to have her because women in technology is an area of focus more broadly for the diversity agenda. And then we have our own Sam Watkins from our Mannheim Vehicle Services business, joining us as well. And she has deep experience of the motor industry. And I think those three different experiences, so financial services, technology, and the motor industry, I think they all have different aspects of interest with regards to, kind of diversity, inclusion, making sure that gender equality exists. So I'm really excited about having those people with us, because they're fantastic advocates for the cause.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, I know I've registered. I'm looking forward to that. Of course, it used to be a physical event. I say, of course, it was a physical event, which was ticketed and used to sell out very quickly, because it, as you say, it gained a lot of popularity and visibility within the industry. So, I guess for somebody wanting to join, the few forthcoming Women with Drive events, the website womenwithdrive.co.uk they can visit. Is there anything specifically individuals need to think about when they join? Because it is actually something people can. I've seen people that attend those events and they take something personally away from it in terms of the quality of speakers that they get to see and hear from.
I mean, I think so. There's a couple of things. We obviously have our website, and I would invite people to look at that. We also have our LinkedIn page, the Women with Drive LinkedIn page. Obviously, people can contact me directly, and the network's growing, and so somewhat it's grown organically now. I think the best thing to do is just to make sure that you're aware of these events. We try and publicise them as much as possible and express interest if you want to be part of them. It saddens me a lot that actually the last Women with Drive event was a physical one, was the 6th of March, directly before the COVID. I mean, it was almost the last meeting I had before we started to get very nervous about what was happening in terms of COVID. And, those physical events are great. What we're trying to do now is create online events that really allow people to think. And of course, by being online, they're a little bit easier for people to attend. I'm really excited about the fact we've got more than 100 people who'll be viewing the panel on Thursday to hear these guys talk about it. And we're looking forward to having questions from the floor. We're getting better at how we deliver this over the digital medium rather than physical. But I can tell you right now, we want to get back in a room at some point and do a conference and talk about stuff and have, our great speakers that we've had in the past and, new ones as well. So very exciting.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. And I know even though it was physical, we started streaming live, didn't we? Because of the demand and the fact that the event sold out. So yeah, it bodes really well. And as you say, diversity and inclusion is a massive, significant focus or should be for every business, but certainly is within Cox Automotive. So will this be your first event as such, Liam, in terms of taking over from Alison?
No, we had Alison Jones talk to us about things in the summer, and she was fantastic. This will be our kind of first proper panel that we've had, and we've got some more agendas items for later in the year. We've got International Men's Day coming up in November, and we've got a couple of people who will talk to the network there, because I think one of the things that's really important with this program is, whilst it's Women with Drive and it's about promoting gender equality, we also want to hear from senior men about how they think about diversity and inclusion, how they think about belonging, and how they think about breaking down the barriers that exist or have existed in our industry. So, there's a whole host of different exciting things we can do with this, and we're working on that right now.
Yeah, that's great. That's a really interesting point as well in terms of attendees. It's open to everybody. So I'd encourage everybody, as I know you would, to get involved. So is there anything else, Liam? I mean, in terms of your view of where you're under your stewardship, where you'd want to take Women with Drive. You talked about International Men's Day. Is this part of something specifically you're looking to achieve when you add your value to the events? I mean,
I think the thing that I want to achieve more than anything is that we keep this very much front and center of the agenda and the discussion. We have got ways to go in terms of diversity and inclusion. It's not just a gender equality point. There's a whole host of other aspects which we can clearly, many of us will have heard about recently. There are, instances like Black Lives Matter and how we think about minority groups from a whole host of different aspects, disability, kind of sexual orientation and those kind of things. And we have to keep that discussion very present and very current, because it's super important for us as a business. And it's not just about being altruistic. It's not just about the fact that clearly there's a sort of human need to embrace each other and make sure that we listen to each other. There's also business benefit, well proven, well trodden ground of why inclusion and diversity is important. You get better innovation, you get better engagement, you get a better culture that people, not just ourselves, but our customers respond to. Nowadays we are getting more questions from customers about how we think about inclusion and diversity than we ever have. And that's great to see. And, so this is not just, people seem to think sometimes it's just about being nice. It is about being the right sort of human being. It is about treating each other with respect and dignity. But it's also about the fact that we can benefit as a business going forward. So for me, the legacy that I want to have with Women with Drive is that when I hand it on to somebody else, we've kept the discussion very present and current. We've improved the feeling of people around how we think about gender equality, but also that we've taken forward our steps in terms of other aspects of inclusion and diversity, because this is just one part of it, and I hope our business will be much better for it.
Fantastic. Well, I couldn't have put that any better, Liam. I think that was fantastic. So really appreciate your time. I know that you'll be preparing along with the panelists for next week. So perhaps we can catch up after that and get some feedback from the delegates. And as I say, we can then focus on the next event.
That'd be fantastic. Thanks, James.
Thanks, Liam.